Am I the asshole for asking my husband to turn down his dream job for my career? I'm going to be vague for privacy reasons, sorry. I, 33F, am the breadwinner of our household. I have multiple, highly specialized degrees for a niche industry. I make $200K plus, with potential to get in the $600Ms range. My company has not been hit that badly by COVID, so most of us have kept our jobs, but we're held to strict standards. My husband, 36M, has a broad degree work experience. He quit his job right before COVID hit, hoping for a better job in the meantime, and I was supportive. He spent a ton of time applying to various jobs, and finally landed an interview at Organization X. This is his dream job, in almost every imaginable way. I can't be detailed. However, it's paying about $65K a year, which would be fine, except this job directly puts my job stability at risk. My company and this org are adversarial, at best. My field is extremely secretive, and if clients discovered my spouse was working for a competitor, I would be permanently tainted. I wouldn't be able to get a job in the industry forever. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but I promise you, it absolutely is not. It'd be like if I worked in protecting the privacy of celebrities, and he worked for TMZ. If he tapped my car, got into my work devices, he could use that to advance his career, and any trust I have in this field will be gone. Even if I trusted my husband not to do that, my clients and company don't. Worse, C, my background is so specialized, this is the only field I can work in. I asked him to drop from consideration for this job, since if he got it, we'd lose my income. $65K a year cannot support us in this city. Plus, he does not have to work for this organization. Even if the job market is awful right now, his background gives him access to a wide range of jobs, but I only have this one, niche field. He was extremely angry, and said I was selfish and only cared about money. I told him that if he wanted to go back to school for an advanced degree or just be unemployed for a while, I would support him, but taking this job isn't possible. He continued the process behind my back, and got the offer. He wants to accept it. C, he says his career needs to take priority and that I wasn't being a supportive wife. I feel so betrayed, and I've contacted all relevant higher-ups in my company to inform them. I notified them as soon as he got the interview. C, it's better coming from my email than from a background check. I told him he could decline the offer, with me watching him physically decline it, or he could accept the offer and move out immediately. I would pay for him to stay 2 weeks at a hotel, and we would begin divorce proceedings. My company is willing to take care of all of my legal fees. I feel fucking awful. I still love him. I moved decisively. C, this was the best way to cut my losses, but it still hurts. He called me heartless and cold. It's true that I was prioritizing my career over his, but it felt like the only option at the time. Not the asshole, and I wonder if Organization X will still want your husband once he becomes your ex. Not the asshole. You told him from the beginning that if he took this job it would end your specialized career. He went ahead with the application behind your back. Regrettably, he put you in the position of choosing between him and your career. I think you made the right choice. You clearly resent what he's done, and I can't see that getting better if you lose everything you worked for. He knew the reasons why he shouldn't pursue this job, yet he went for it anyway. If that's not selfish, I don't know what is. His new career needs to take priority. Why? If it's possible for you two to just separate for a while, maybe that's something you can do before actually filing for divorce. Or you can file and drag it out until he realizes that he cannot support himself on that income, let alone the both of you, since you wouldn't be able to find another job in your field. Either way, if he's refusing to compromise, you two cannot live together anymore. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You've been in your career field longer than he has. He is straight up moving on with taking a job with your direct competitor, which will ruin your career. He's calling you heartless, only caring about money and your career, but he's only caring about his possible career, not thinking about you and yours at all. This is bigger than just career and jobs. He has very little respect for you. Why did he apply to it in the first place when he knows it could affect you that badly? He's the asshole, and he obviously thinks his career is more important than yours, and you really shouldn't put up with that. Not the asshole. I think you did the right thing and he doesn't deserve all the support you're giving him. Not the asshole. He is basically asking you to give up your entire career for him. You're asking him to not work for one company. Yours is not an unreasonable request. He is being selfish. Not the asshole. Trust me on this, I've been through the same situation. Everyone else here can have their opinion, but unless they work in such a competitive field, or are even married, they have no idea. Repeat, not the asshole. Not the asshole. You were open and honest with him. You explained things to him and gave him the option of helping with his advanced degree, which in his resume will show as work experience. He is being a misogynistic He is literally expecting you to play housewife while he goes to work. This is what happens to women all the time. They have to give up on their earning potential to appease the ego or a fragile man. Do not fall for it, stand your ground. And by the way, I am a male. That was a move by your husband. There are thousands of jobs and he chose a job that is directly opposite of yours. Something that could harm your livelihood for potentially forever just for some dream job. Wow. Not the asshole. He says his career needs to take priority and that I wasn't being a supportive wife. Yikes. He's got a serious bee in his bonnet about your successful career, and is prepared to sabotage your job to deal with it. Making it clear how seriously you take this is clearly not the asshole. I actually wonder if he was offered a job at the competing organization based on his accessibility to you and your company, if their interest in your work is as you say. Regardless, I'm not sure why he thinks his new job should take precedence over yours, but he pretty much knowingly backed you into a corner. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. A man expecting a woman to give up her future to support his, a tale as old as time. Don't let him make you feel cold. He's the one who is cold enough to throw away his marriage for $65,000. Sure, the argument could be made that you're throwing your marriage away for $600,000. But it's your education and accomplishments you'd be throwing away too, if your field is that niche. I dunno, maybe I'm cold, but I also can't imagine breaking up my relationship with my boyfriend with the six-figure job who supports me and encourages me to further my education for $65,000, even if it was my dream career, watching Netflix and being a potato chip taste tester woman shrugging light skin tone. Good luck with everything. I have a question. Does he somehow not believe you or not accept that the consequences for you of him accepting this job are as dire as you say? What is his actual counterargument when you talk? Does he actually expect you to get fired from your job and also become unemployable and blackballed in your entire industry, which is the only career you have ever had or studied and trained for, just so that he can take this particular job he has been offered? What's his proposed alternative here? I'm guessing in a field this specific and strict there are background checks and security clearances, so what are the chances that this place hired him specifically because he's married to you? I've known people to be fired from high-paying technical positions because they married foreign nationals. They all landed more or less fine, usually in academia, so I find it hard to believe that you couldn't do anything else. That said, it's a choice for you to make. Leaning towards NTA. Another great example of, imagine if the genders were reversed. If a guy said this, he would be eviscerated by this sub. Edit. Disagree as much as you want, it doesn't change the fact that this sub has a major hate boner for very specific issues: people. Husbands, MILs, people who make any amount of money above the middle class, the list goes on and on. I can assure you all these people coming out of the woodwork trying to justify it would be the first to scream at anybody who doesn't fit their morally righteous narrative. NTA, this isn't just about the money, this is him putting his wants over your entire life and career. He is consciously invalidating your life, hard work, and professional career. I am sorry that you are dealing with a man who disrespects you like this. What the hell is wrong with you people? There are protocols for exactly this sort of thing in the corporate world. You are the asshole. Fill out a conflict of interest disclosure form, don't talk about work at home, and move the hell on. Not the asshole. And I understand where you're coming from. If my husband would sell cancer cures on the internet, it would ruin any credibility I have as a doctor. This could ruin you, and there are other companies he could work for with the degree he has. It's not as if you become destitute if he doesn't accept the job. Not the asshole. You've given him reasonable choices, for totally reasonable and understandable reasons. His choice to make now. No assholes here, it's his dream job and it totally sucks it'll mess with your career. How did y'all meet anyway and get married knowing this could be an issue? He prioritized his job over you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband totally did this on purpose. He has general skills and knowledge and work experience, and he just happened to apply for a direct rival to his wife's employer, knowing the confidentiality requirements. He said it himself. He expects a supportive wife to give up her entire career, in which you would make several times over what he could, due to her specialized degrees and industry knowledge. You chased a career. He chased a way to bomb your career and blame you for the demise of your marriage. Not the asshole. Your husband went into this job interview process knowing that he was sabotaging your career and didn't care at all. He can call you cold all he wants, but what does that make him? From your comments, this isn't even his dream company? He just likes his coworkers and his benefits. So he was willing to risk his financial stability and marriage for work friends and job perks. This is one of those "am I the asshole" threads where you can feel the implied misogyny in the comments, because if the roles were reversed, no one would be calling you selfish for prioritizing your lucrative career over his. Damn. Kudos to your job for willingly wanting to cover legal fees for your divorce. Nah. Both of your positions are valid. Choices need to be made. He wants his dream job, you want to keep your job, and they are directly at odds. I don't see any winners in this situation, but I do not think you are an a for telling him that if he wants to stay married he's got to look for another job. You have an incredibly good income with a good future. I wouldn't want to give that up either. No assholes here, but holy crap, how rough is this? There are no winners in this situation. Both of you have to choose what matters more, your partner or your career. Some things got to give. Not the asshole, he needs to look at the big picture. The future. As a married couple you both need to work as a unit. It seems that he's uncomfortable with you being the breadwinner and he playing a support role financially. This is a tough one, but unless you both can get on the same page on how the marriage will work, it seems like divorce is imminent. Info. Which of the two jobs is ethical? Because I have a snaking feeling that one of those is not. It'd be funny if they actually accepted him, thinking he'd get them some info from you, and if you split they wouldn't want him anymore. Protect your assets now. Don't get blindsided, get a really good lawyer. Not the asshole. It sounds like he would have known about the conflict between the two fields jobs before he applied in the first place. The fact that he went all the way through the process makes it seem like it may have been done to spite you. Maybe there's some resentment on his part about you being the breadwinner. Threatening divorce may have been harsh, but clearly you wouldn't have responded that way if he had been more upfront about the application. I think he's looking for a way out. Maybe not even to get away from you specifically, but maybe he doesn't like that it makes sense for your career to be prioritized over his. Not the asshole. I'm going to go with nah. It might be a great opportunity for him, but if you can't survive on his job alone, I don't get it. What is he even suggesting? He says his career needs to take priority. Did he really say that? Why would that be? You guys need to work as a team. Your husband is not willing to sacrifice his dream job for his marriage. You are not willing to sacrifice your career for your marriage. It's good that you guys are on the same page when it comes to prioritizing your love life versus your career. Nah. Not the asshole. As someone who has had a stable life, I'd choose the stability and look for another job. Edit. Who never had a stable life. I'm an immigrant, I would choose stability. Not the asshole. This isn't about a job, it's about ego. Your spouse put his ego in front of his marriage. I'm so sorry, op. Not the asshole. I'm sorry if my spouse has a $600K earning potential, I would go back to school and find a new dream job. Risking that for $65K a year is short-sighted, and honestly he's living with his head in the clouds. But it's my dream job. Sounds so childish, honestly. Grow up, you're in the real world. For $600K a year, buy yourself a new dream job. Just barely. Not the asshole. I would have said N_A_H, but he lied and sneaked around behind your back, and that's an asshole move. Honestly, it sounds like you've both decided your work means more to you than each other. That happens sometimes, it's fair and reasonable. It's probably best if you just part ways. Are you guys assassins, and is this like the plot of Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Why is there such a difference in pay if he is working for a direct competitor? I understand that the position may be different, but it just seems like a massive difference in pay. Assuming $65K is a low-level position in the competitor's company, how does this affect you at your company? I understand that I don't know y'all's companies or industries, but if my wife is the store manager at Walmart and I am a cashier at Target, I am not exactly a threat to my wife's job. Edit. Completely forgot judgment. Not the asshole. Welcome to r Am I the Asshole? Please view our voting guide here, and remember to use only one judgment in your comment. Help keep the sub engaging. Hashtag Dawn, T downvote assholes. To upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules, and click here for our FAQ. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit message compose to =r me the asshole if you have any questions or concerns. Info: did he talk about you in the interview, as a reason why he'd be great for the job? Not the asshole. The moment he went behind your back he made the decision for the both of you. Op as drug smuggler, husband as FBI. Everyone sucks here, both of you love your careers over your spouse. Info: is this the type of job where the competitor would have the moral high ground? Like government oversight or a non-profit that fights their work? For example, an oil company or arms manufacturer. Is his dream job something that he believes in even though you make more money? I'm leaning towards everyone sucks here because you could have talked about it better. It's very hard for a relationship to come back from talking about divorce lawyers. You could have said something like, you can't take that because I would be fired and never hired in my field again. Even though you know you wouldn't let that happen. Closing parenthesis. Not the asshole. He continued the process behind your back. You can absolutely expect him to use your connections to further your career. Not the asshole. IDK why people are saying you've decided your job is more important. Surely your husband knew how big a conflict this would be and decided to apply anyway. That sounds more like he decided his wants were more important than yours. Did you guys have any discussions before he applied? Did you know he was applying? If he did this entire thing secretly knowing it would be an issue, then frankly I agree with people saying it's grounds for separation at minimum if he won't budge. Not the asshole. Your career matters and is equally important. Even if his job were to pay more than you, it is still wrong on his part. If you aren't supportive of his career, so isn't he. His argument makes no sense. I'm sorry you are in such a crap situation, but it's not your fault. It's tough, but if your husband makes you choose between him and your own independence, he makes the choice easy. Not the asshole. Info: something seems off about this story.